Hello, good day, my glorious families. I welcome you all to today's chapter of the day. We are reading the book of Mark, chapter 3, and I will say it's a beautiful chapter and you will enjoy it. So let's see, like I said the last time, I don't know if you've been following us on this page, the book of Mark. What does it teach us? What is it talking about? The book of Mark teaches us principles of divine inspiration. It teaches us principles of divine incarnation. It teaches us principles of spiritual transformation and also principles of live by. The last time I talked about the book of Mark, we read this, this beginning of what Mark is all about. So let's see chapter 3 of Brother Mark. What does it say? Jesus entered the synagogue again, and a man was there who had a shivered hand. In order to accuse him, they were watching him closely to see whether he would heal on the Sabbath. Remember, Sabbath is a day the Lord asks us to set aside and keep it holy. So it doesn't have to be Sunday. Some people make their Sabbath day to be Saturday. So Sabbath, it was more like a topic sometimes that we were arguing as Christians. Okay, Sunday is Sabbath day, Saturday is Sabbath day. So Sabbath day can be any day. It could even be a Wednesday. It could be a Monday. So it all depends on you. What day would you like to set aside to serve the Lord and to rest from all of your 6 days of work, and then the seventh day you rest, just as God, or even our God, rested on the seventh day. So Sabbath day is a day you set aside and keep holy for God and for yourself. So they were hungry that Jesus healed on Sabbath day. Really? Do we really need to heal any other day and abandon the other days? So we have to allow someone to pass or to just because we don't want to heal them on certain days. So anyway, he told them, okay, he told the man with the shivered hand, stand before us. The man with the shivered hand, okay, then he said to them, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath day or to do evil, to save life or to kill? But they were silent. After looking around at them with anger, he was grieved at the hardness of their hearts and told the man, stretch out your hand. So he stretched it out, and his hand was restored. Immediately, the Pharisees were out and started plotting with the Herodians against him, how they might kill him. How mean can that be? So they were not happy the man was healed. Does it matter any day he was healed? That is how to know the hypocrites. Some people are so mean. They just want to get you down by all means. Whether you do good or bad, it doesn't concern them, but they need you down. Okay, there's a subheading here. There wasn't a subheading from the beginning of the chapter 3, but there's a subheading here. Okay, there was a subheading starting from chapter 2. So there was a subheading and chapter 3 started in the middle. So it was the Lord of Sabbath. So God is the Lord of Sabbath. Anyway, another subheading says, a house divided. Hold on. Am I on another subheading? No, not yet. So this is verse 6. Let me go to verse 7. Verse 7, another subheading says, ministering to the multitude. Jesus departed with his disciples to sea to the sea, and a large crowd followed from Galilee, and a large crowd followed from Judea, Jerusalem, Idumea, beyond the Jordan, and around Tyre and Sidon. The large crowd came to him because they heard about everything he was doing. Then he told his disciples to have a small boat ready for him so that the crowd wouldn't crush him. Since he had healed many, all who had diseases were pressing towards him to touch him. Whenever the unclean spirits saw him, they fell down before him and cried out, "You are the Son of God," and would strongly warn them not to make him known. The 12 apostles, that's another subheading, verse 13. Jesus went up the mountain and summoned those he wanted, and they came to him. He appointed 12, whom he also named apostles, to be with him, to send them out to preach and to have authority to drive out demons. We all have been assigned to drive out demons. He appointed the 12. To Simon, he gave the name Peter, and to James, the son of Zebedee, and to his brother John, he gave the name Zoanerges, that is sons of thunder. Boanerges, sorry. Andrew, Philip, and Bartholomew, Matthew, and Thomas, that's the name he gave them. James, the son of Alphaeus, and Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him. Let's move to verse 20, a house divided. Jesus entered the house, and the crowd gathered again, so that they were not able to eat. So that they were the crowd gathered again, so that they were even unable to eat. That's because there were too many. When his family heard this, they set out to restrain him, because they said, "He is out of his mind." The scribes who had come down from Jerusalem said, "He is possessed by Beelzebul, and he drives out demons by the ruler of the demons." I want you to listen very well to this part. So he summoned them and spoke to them in parables. How can Satan drive out Satan? You know, these days, even when we see good pastors, real pastors, we still think they are fake pastors just because of the way things are now. We don't know who is who. But the Bible still says, "By their fruit you shall know them," but still it's still difficult to know them. Somehow you will know them, but you need the Holy Spirit to let you know them. Okay, the guy that he said is sending demons out by the, okay. The scribes who are, okay. How can Satan drive out Satan? That's what Jesus asked them. If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan opposes himself and is divided, he cannot stand, but is finished. But no one can enter a strong man's house and plunder his possessions unless he first ties up the strong man. Then he can plunder his house. Truly I tell you, verse 28, people will be forgiven for all sins and whatever blasphemies they utter. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit never has forgiveness, but is guilty of an eternal sin. But they were saying he has an unclean spirit. So despite all this, they still insisted Jesus has an unclean spirit. His mother and his brothers came, and standing outside, they sent word to him and called him. A crowd was sitting around him and told him, "Look, your mother," I love this part. Okay, I want to make two, I pray I will have time. "Your mother, your brothers and sisters are outside asking for you." He replied, please take notes, he replied to them, "Who are my mothers and my brothers?" Looking at those sitting in a circle around him, he said, "Here are my mothers and brothers. Whoever does the will of God is my brothers and mothers and brothers and sisters." Okay, I want to say something about this particular last verse of verse 3, Mark chapter 3, Mark 3, verse 33, verse 35. Okay, verse 33. You know, Jesus said, nobody, no, you know, like all those who does his will, the will of the Father through him, who, you know, those who are listening to the gospel, who does what is right, those are his fathers and the mothers and sisters. So does it mean it is not recognized that Mary is his father? And why do Catholic, you know, honor Mary so much? I'm so sorry, I'm just asking. Then another thing I want us to know is that in Nigeria, there is a lot of issues right now. There are some squad called the Boko Harams. They are killing people. They are doing all sorts of atrocities, killing people, you know, kidnapping and all. But you will never see the dark people of Nigeria, which is, you know, they don't come against them. So is that reason? Bye.